Hey, Scrapbook friends, it's Nicole, and I'm here with a very special album flip through for you. I was in Mexico, Cancun last week with the Creative Memories Advisor Escape trip, and a couple of the people that I talked to there who are people who watch my channel, which was so wonderful to hear that some of my fellow advisors are watching here. So hello to all of you that I met in Mexico. A couple people said, oh, I wish you would do more album flip throughs. And so one of the reasons I don't do them is because I have so many albums that are not done. As soon as I finish an album, I promise I'll do a flip through. But I do have some of these that are older. So this is an album that I probably made my first year or two being a Creative Memories consultant. So we're thinking 2003. Let's see. We went to the trip in 2003. So I probably made this in 2004, maybe 2005. This was the Masterpiece album. If you remember from the old days of CM, this is actual real leather. It was $60. I remember that, like thinking that was an insane amount to pay for a scrapbook. And of course I had to do two of them because, well, you know me. So this was the trip that I took where we, where I had been buying my film at Sam's Club in a 4-pack for weeks and months before our trip. And when I came back and I took it into the 1 hour photo, I had 36 rolls of film. And we were at the PX down at Fort Rucker, Alabama. And the girl at the photo counter looked at me and she said, those aren't going to be ready in an hour. So that was okay with me. And it took me a while to scrapbook it. And I have not looked in these scrapbooks for a while. So who knows, we may have some surprises. I did leave the page protectors on. Hopefully that's not going to be a problem. We'll be able to work around the glare of the lights and stuff here in my scrapbook room. But if I had to take the page protectors off, it was going to just be that much longer before I could do my flip through. So title page. We had a Disney, like a theme pack. It came with the die cut title and the little hands. Of course, this is before we had a Cricut. I mean, it was a big deal to be able to do this. And then I just used all the stickers from the Disney pack and put them on an oval. This was the jumbo oval from the custom cutting system. Still one of my favorite ways to do a title page is with a circle or an oval and then just a scattering of embellishments or stickers or something all around, and then your words in the middle. So, this was our countdown. I think we had the fridge frame then. So we put this up on the wall and we counted down. I let my daughter, who was Michelle, you guys know Michelle, she was 3. So I let her help with the countdown, but every day we got to put a sticker on until it was time to go to the trip. You know, how many? 3, 2, 1, November was a Friday, November 6th, November 7th. So that was our countdown. That was a really fun thing to do. And I just drew this grid myself, and I probably, messed it up and had to redo it. No, I guess I did it right on the page. Wow, good for me. And I just realized I lost the little swirly to the Disney dot. So shh, don't tell anyone. We had these great pens. I can't remember what they're called. I want to say Precious Moments. They weren't called Precious Moments, but they were like metallic and they wrote really nicely on the black, and we had the black ruled paper. So I said, we went to Disney World for a week in November 1997. I think I've already showed the scrapbook of that. That was before I was doing Creative Memories album. So it was in an 8.5 by 11 3-ring binder. If not, if I can't find it, if I can find it, I'll link to it below. If I can't find it, then I guess that's my next album flip through. So we went to Disney World for a week in November 97, had such a wonderful time. We've been hoping to go back ever since. When Prince was in Afghanistan, we decided we were done waiting and started to plan our trip. This is our trip of a lifetime. We were going to live it up. We're going to go. We're not going to be those people that go to Disney all the time because, it's expensive and those people are crazy. So, how the mighty have fallen. When my sister Kim found out we were going, she wanted to go too. She was with us the last time we figured out how. In May, she graduated from college, and for her graduation gift from her parents, she said, I want to go to Disney World with the Sows. Since Kim is coming with us, we had to get 2 rooms. We decided to invite Michelle's best friend, Courtney, who's 11, to come along with us. It's about a 9-hour drive from Fort Bragg to Orlando. We left home at 9 a.m. on Saturday, November 8th for our week's adventure. All right, so lots of journaling. You guys know how I feel about that. Original plan had been to stay at Disney from Sunday to Sunday. But then we decided to go down early. It was too late to get a room at the same hotel. We got one at a downtown Disney resort instead. So we stayed at the Hotel Rail Plaza. I think this is now called the Bee. It's changed names a couple of times. This is our little postcard. We had a room with the patio view. Here's our room key. The funnest thing was the little duck. I think that's on the... Oh, I didn't save it. The best feature of the room was sitting on the side of the bathtub was a tiny rubber ducky. And that with a fun note from housekeeping found under the bed made bright spots in an otherwise average hotel. So there was a little note that said, surprise, it's just as clean here as the rest of your room. So that was kind of fun. My gosh, look how young Princeton looks. Huh. All right, so here we are, downtown Disney. It was still called downtown Disney then. Short walk from the hotel, and that's where we went the first night. So I should zoom down and let you guys just, when I get to a better picture, well, we'll do this one. We'll zoom down. All right, look, there you go. There's Katie. This was 2003, so she was probably 13. Alex was maybe 16. Michelle was 3. The least I've weighed in, 30 years or more. Least Princeton's weighed probably 2. And then our friend Courtney Russell, who went with us, who's now like all grown up. All right, so downtown Disney, the first thing, Michelle got to go on her first Disney ride. We paid $1 for her to ride around in a circle on this little train. She was so excited. We wondered how much more she'd be able to take once we got to the real rides at the Magic Kingdom. All right, let me zoom back. I think I scrolled out a little bit too much. All right, there we go. Yeah, the glare is hopefully not terrible. So just a park map, and I did lots and lots of this journaling on that lined journal paper with those metallic precious elements, maybe is what they were called. We weren't going to stop in the big new toy store the first thing, but a Disney cast member offered us a prize if we completed a scavenger hunt in the store. So Alex and Nicole took the challenge and won 2 little tubs of Play-Doh. Did we show pictures of us with the Play-Doh? I didn't know. But we did love the Once Upon a Toy and just the little scavenger hunt. So you can see this is a very... it's not quite a naked scrapbook, but I'm not doing a lot of embellishments. I just use the black pages and put my pictures and my stuff down. This is a Lego. You remember the Sizzix? Who had a Sizzix for their titles? So this is my Sizzix title. The Lego store is probably the most popular spot for kids at Downtown Disney. There are bins of Legos to play with, life-size Lego figures, and a new Duplo playhouse the kids can climb up in, then slide out of. We spent a long time there. So there's Michelle and Courtney and possibly Alex up there. Maybe not. That doesn't look like Alex. Katie and Michelle. This is actually really fun for me because I know that a lot of you have, kind of know my kids now because of some of this stuff. All right. We browsed in a lot of the shops, but didn't buy anything. Princeton saw some things he liked in the guitar store, but restrained himself so we could afford the rest of the trip. We stopped at a fun magnet store that had fridge magnets in every possible size and style. So the ice cream cone, there's some little tiny guitars, Disney Quest, Pleasure Island. These things are gone now. I don't know what she's standing on right there. Courtney was such a sweet friend to Michelle. We loved her so much. It was a little hard for her. She was 11 and she went to Disney with this wacky So family. The Ghirardelli chocolate stop. The one disappointment of the evening was the annual Festival of the Masters shuts down at dusk. All we got to see was a few sidewalk chalk artists. I didn't say anything about Ghirardelli. What is there to say? Ice cream. We got the world famous hot fudge sundae and the Strike It Rich sundae. They must have had a menu I could keep and cut apart. I did actually start doing a little bit of decorating. Even then, I guess I couldn't just do white space, even if it was black white space. So we did see, I said all we got to see was a few sidewalk chalk artists. So this was obviously something that he was doing. The marketplace was about to close, but Nicole couldn't leave without going to the Wonderful World of Memories scrapbook store. Princeton and Alex went next door to Art of Disney, where they had one of the most magical experiences of our whole trip. Princeton and Alex got talking with an artist working in the store. He showed them some of his drawings and told about how he came to work for Disney. Alex has had a long-time dream of working as a Disney animator, and the artist, Gene, gave us some advice about what Alex needed to do to further his goals. As they were talking, Gene quickly sketched a picture of Mickey Mouse to show Alex how easy it can be with a little practice, then signed it and handed it to Alex. No charge, just one artist to another. We're going to frame the picture and hang it in Alex's bedroom. So this is a photograph of the picture that I enlarged to probably 8 by 12 or even 12 by 12. I don't know, and cut it down. So it's almost life size. We didn't actually frame this and put it in Alex's room. I don't know where it is. You can see I had bought a bunch of Disney things. I think these were scissors that had a Disney or an edge punch with the little Disney arms. And then this was, of course, my little Mickey Mouse head punch. You'll probably see a lot of it. I didn't have a whole lot of stuff then. Sidewalk surprise. As we were leaving, we stopped to play in some randomly appearing fountains on the sidewalk. The big people tried to stay dry, but Courtney and Michelle aimed for the water, and they had such a good time. And I just drew with colored pencil, just some little splashes on here. I'm actually quite proud of those. Oh, reflection. I may have to take these page protectors off. Sorry. All right, contemporary. We got a fabulous deal through the military, which allowed us to stay at the deluxe contemporary hotel for less than half price. We got 2 rooms so Nicole's sister Kim could join us for the week. So here's Michelle. Look how cute she is. It's so tiny. Courtney, Katie, Princeton, and then the contemporary. And then we were in rooms 8321 and 8322 on the 3rd floor of the North Garden Wing. One of the guidebooks we took on our trip called The View from These Specific Rooms the Best on Disney Property. It was a long walk from the elevators, but the scenery is worth it. I'm going to zoom in for this picture too, because this is one of those pictures that I just love so much. This this arched Mickey is still out there outside of the contemporary. So we haven't taken a picture with it again, and I don't think Michelle would be able to sit on there. We probably weren't supposed to have her sit on there at all the first time, but such a cute picture. Love it so much. All right. So as you can see, like I kept a lot of memorabilia, all the maps of the hotels and the, the different rooms, and any paper thing I could keep to save for the scrapbook I kept. Monorail, again, this is with a Sizzix. I'm sure I just did this by hand, this little monorail. After we checked our hotel, we rode the monorail over to the ticket office. On the way over, some of us got to ride in the front with the driver. Look at that. They don't let you do that anymore. We got to ride in the front with the driver. Oh, I'd forgotten that. Disney offered a great military special this year, which saved us over $1,500 on our admission tickets. That savings paid for both hotel rooms. Because we got a second room so Kim could come with us, we had room to take our friend Courtney too. And then these are our little tickets. And it was my husband's ticket was free, and I think ours were $99 each. 5-day park hopper tickets, $99 each. 2003, the good old days. So I did a little patriotic thing right here. We went mini golfing. Like everything else, Disney does miniature golf in grand style. We played at the Fantasia Gardens course themed around the movie Fantasia, which we love. So here's our little booklet. I put it in photo corners. This has not been removed from this for many years. Apparently, Princeton beat me by a lot. So, but cute little Fantasia stuff, and I just put it in here in these photo corners, and I will come back and put it all the way in when we're done. So this is like a collage page. I do these often still, and but again, pretty naked pages. After a game of golf, we rode the monorail back to the hotel. Our rooms were ready, but best of all, Kim was waiting for us. We had great rooms, spacious with a gorgeous view of Bay Lake. Although the Contemporary is the least themed of the Disney hotels, it's still full of fun touches like Mickey soap and shampoo. The housekeeping staff adds special touches too, like the fun toothbrush holders made from folded washcloths. Only at Disney World do they want you to waste. We had to make fun of that. Here's a little coaster. And this is not a panoramic photo. It's 2 photos that I took and just put next to each other, because this is with my film camera. Remember I said I bought all the film at Sam's Club. All right, our first meal at Disney was at the Polynesian Resort's Ohana restaurant. We waited 40 minutes for our 5:40 reservation. Those things didn't get off to a very good start, but the food was yummy and we began to feel better. During the meal, they had several activities for kids. Michelle pushed a coconut around with a broom, and later she and Courtney joined a hula hoop contest. So I don't know. Oh, there's Michelle with the hula hoop. Look how cute she was. She's still pretty cute. I think they still do this. They come around with the meat on these big skewers. It's like one of those Brazilian steakhouses. Little cute Michelle. Little cute Alex, too. Look, he's licking his lips. The food is served family style. All you can eat right at your table. And the meat choices are brought hot from the grill on long skewers. Monday, November 10th, 2003. The magic begins. We started our first day in the parks with an early wake-up call from Mickey himself. We had a quick breakfast in our room before we headed out. The best feature of the Contemporary is its location. Next to Magic Kingdom, we walked to the entrance in less than 10 minutes. We arrived at the gate 10 minutes before the park opened. And Nicole admits to goosebumps and teary eyes as Mickey and his friends arrived on the train and welcomed us, and presumably the other guests as well, to the happiest place on earth. And then this is just cut out of the park map. And it's really fun for me to kind of go back over the years and see how things have changed and what things have changed. Haha, desperately seeking Snow White. Michelle insisted on wearing her Halloween costume to Disney because then when I meet Snow White, we can be matching. Unfortunately, we were never able to find Snow White, and Michelle changed out of the dress by noon. I made this dress. I sewed it. Look how cute it is. She was so cute. She was wearing jeans and sneakers and stuff underneath, but we looked everywhere for Snow White, didn't see her. And then we asked somewhere else later, and they said, oh yeah, you have to meet her in Epcot. So we found that out later. I mean, I read the guidebook, but there was no Facebook, there was no YouTube, there were no vloggers. I mean, we were on our own. Times were hard back in 2003. All right, our first stop was Fantasyland and Dumbo. Before the lines got too long, we only waited through one cycle of the ride for our turn. Another early stop was at Peter Pan. We asked our cast member to take our photo in front of the attraction, wanted the sign in the shot, but he just took a picture of us. Good old Disney cast members. So we're looking at some pretty basic kind of CM style, strips. Not even a strip and a triangle, just some strips and some stickers. I did have this Snow White paper that I was able to use. And again, Sizzix flowers, no cricket. Some strips and some stickers. Fantasyland is a great place to start touring the Magic Kingdom, especially for kids, since it's full of fun, movie-themed rides and lots of bright colors. We are lucky to be among the first to experience Mickey's PhilharMagic, a new 3D movie that had opened only a few weeks earlier. So that's pretty fun. The Mini Adventures of Winnie the Pooh is another new addition. That's the Theme Park Thursday video I did a week ago while I was the one that showed while I was in Mexico. It was fun to ride in a big honey pot. Of course, my husband's name is Princeton. The bathroom said Prince, so I made him pose. Courtney was the only one who really wanted to ride the Mad Tea Party, but Katie risked tagging along. The rest of us were content to meet Alice, the Mad Hatter, and the Tweedles. Okay, I love this one. I made this myself. Tomorrowland Speedway. It started raining as we waited in line for the Speedway, but that didn't deter us. The cars were much harder to drive than we remembered, which made for quite a workout. But I did it on the black pages, and I put the grass, and then these are just they're little rectangles that I just kind of put around and drew the line with a pen. And then this was a Creative Memories, like a car racing sticker that we had at great lengths, if you remember that. And again, my Sizzix letters. To Infinity and Beyond. Meeting Buzz Lightyear was great. He saw Michelle in her Snow White dress and bowed down to her as we approached. She was sucking her thumb. I forgot she was a thumb sucker. The Buzz ride was our first experience using the fabulous Fast Pass feature. What a great feeling it is to zip past all the people waiting in line and get right on the ride. So here we are holding our little Fast Passes. This ride lived up to all the rave reviews and turned out to be the one we rode the most, at least 4 times, and some of the group got to ride 5 times. In the ride, you get to earn points shooting at targets, and Princeton's military training paid off with consistently high scores. So that was fun. I have no idea where this paper came from. This was early on in my Creative Memories days. I've never been like a CM purist. I'm more so now just because I've got so much of it. Oh, this was awesome. Talking Trash. One of the most magical experiences we had at the Magic Kingdom was our encounter with the talking trash can. An otherwise normal-looking trash can was rolling around Tomorrowland interacting with the guests. It found Michelle and made some comments about her Snow White dress and the strawberry shortcake sneakers she was wearing with it. After little detective work, Nicole was able to discover the source of this mysterious entity. It's the man in the white jacket. He was talking into a microphone in his sleeve, and it looked like he was moving a remote-controlled joystick inside what looked like an ordinary camera bag. Most visitors didn't seem to connect the guy with the trash can, but it didn't ruin the magic even when we did figure it out. So that was fun. But Michelle's not in any of these pictures, so there's Alex. It's become an unfortunate tradition to go to theme parks on rainy days, and our first day in the Magic Kingdom was no exception. Nicole had been secretly scheming for months to get the new clear Mickey rain ponchos so didn't mind a little rain. Princeton's not-so-secret scheme involved a turkey leg and not a poncho, so we achieved both goals by stopping for lunch and a shopping break. It was at this point that Michelle gave up on wearing her Snow White costume. Look how cute she is, y'all. So cute. Mickey's Toontown Fair. After lunch, we headed to Toontown, where we toured Minnie's house and almost got to see some princesses until we wimped out of the long line. But the highlight was Michelle finally getting to ride on the tiny roller coaster she was sure was her favorite before she rode it. Look at her face in the pictures to see if she actually liked it. She's right here. Okay, we'll zoom down again. I wish I had like a remote to zoom down because that would be easier. What do you think? Do you think she liked it? Or was she terrified? I think she was terrified. But then when she got off the ride, what do you think? Look how cute she is. Oh, and right here, you can see her right there too. Oh, y'all, I should have looked at these albums before so I wouldn't have to stop having all my little memories come back to me. Splash Mountain, dry is not an option. This was when this is before they had PhotoPass. So I had to buy the picture for like $20 from the little thing. I don't ride Splash Mountain. I'm afraid of heights. I rode it once at Disneyland when I was about 26, and I cried when we got to the bottom. So they rode without me. Poor Princeton didn't have a buddy, but Michelle was too short to ride, so I rode with her, and I did get this picture. Then we met Peter Pan, and we rode Pirates. We love those little bins of gems. So here's Mr. Smee and Hook and Peter Pan. Lots of characters. Sometimes I feel like there's more characters back then. Oh my gosh, we had the best dinner ever at Liberty Tree Tavern. The food was great. We had a terrific server named Carol who made the meal even better. This was a character dinner, and we were visited by Pluto, Minnie, Chip and Dale, and Miko from Pocahontas. Princeton entertained the characters as much as they did us with jokes and tricks that drove Dale into a silent giggle fit, then into a closet. And look, here's my little CM 7x7 autograph book. Used Courtney's head as a table to sign. Oh, Pluto and Kim, Miko. Man, we had the best time. Princeton was bouncing his spoon on his nose because I guess that's what we do. Disney After Dark. An unexpected benefit of our late dinner seating was that we got to stay in the park long past its 7 p.m. closing time. By the time we were done with dinner and leaving the park, we were practically the only people left on Main Street. It was so cool. We stopped at several points on the way out to take pictures and enjoy the quiet. The lights on all the buildings give the street such a festive feeling. One of the guidebooks refers to it as the small town that never was, and it does feel way too magical to be real. Always in the background is Cinderella's castle, which changes color due to the lighting every few minutes. The whole place is beautiful. So yeah, look at that. Nobody on Main Street. And then this is one of those layouts I did where I've cut the page. I think, have I done one of those in something recent? But I cut the page and then pieced this together so that I can have the same, I kept the same title, but I was able to put all these pictures together. I mean, look at this picture of the castle and us, and so much fun, so much fun. All right. Oh, the electric water pageant. Oh, Disney works hard to make staying on the property worth the extra money. One of the perks of the deluxe resorts is getting to watch the electrical water pageant. The show consists of a string of boats carrying light-up screens as the display pulls in front of the hotel, in our case on Bay Lake. A 10-minute show with synchronized music and lights begins. Most songs were from Disney films, but one was a patriotic song. We could see the show from our room, though the view would have been better down the shore. We slept through it the first night, but all the other nights we heard the music, then had to open the balcony door to watch it. And this is a very kind of a classic CM style. I just drew the line, and then I just did a little confetti. I had these Mrs. Grossman's little Christmas lights and musical note stickers. And then I, did some little dots and, oh, it's not going to focus. Darn it. Because I keep touching my phone screen to zoom down, it doesn't want to change its focus. But you can see I just did little dots and asterisks. I really think, looking at older albums like this is really nice because I'm like, this worked great. This worked as a really great border page. And so, it doesn't have to be all the hard things that we do now. I wonder if I could redo myself in a 2003 style of scrapbooking. Again, black pages. You're seeing hardly any background paper, no wallpapering or anything. Epcot, Tuesday, November 11th, Veterans Day. Oh, they had this huge thing. I remember those big balls they used to have. Michelle's little glasses. You will see these throughout our life at Disney. We have purchased or tried on these glasses. This is when they had the infamous Epcot wand that some of the purists hated, but I love because I love Mickey and I think it made it fun. Kim was not really drinking the water from this. She was just pretending. And then here's the map. I had to kind of turn it at an angle. Here's Courtney watching the upside down fountains and Michelle with Goofy. I love this one. Just the geometric shapes. I did this when we had the two punches, you know, the squares and the circles, and you could punch circles. You could do this really easily now with the custom cutting system too. And I just kind of copied the design from these fountains. I said our first stop at Epcot was the brand new Mission Space Ride. Near the exit was a fun random sidewalk fountain. Most of the other moms made their kids stay out of the water, but Michelle was having such a good time, Nicole decided to sacrifice dry clothes. Haha. Unfortunately, the cost of a whole new outfit at Disney World is about as far from a bargain price as you might imagine. It was still worth it to see Michelle have such fun. So I did right here. Mickey Mouse sweatpants, $20. Disney World t-shirt, $15. Princess panties, 3-pack, $12. Disney Princess sandals, $14. An hour of pure bliss playing in the sidewalk fountains while the rest of the kids ride the new Mission Space Ride. Priceless. Look at that face. Priceless. Worth every penny. Worth every penny. Little did I know how many outfits we would buy at Disney World over the years. Oh, we went into the Wonders of Life Pavilion, tried a lot of the interactive exhibits about sight and hearing and touch. Then some of us watched the movie Cranium Command while the rest went to ride Body Wars. Somewhere in the building, Michelle lost her new Mickey glasses, but a helpful cast member replaced them for free. One of our happiest magical Disney moments ever. And I was doing an ABC book and we needed something for X, and my friend had told me they had these x-ray machines. And so, oh my gosh, you guys, look how cute she is. She was so cute. She's still really cute. Interventions. It's so fun to kind of flip back through this and all the things I'd forgotten that used to be at Disney that aren't there anymore. So this is all the things that they had. Tom Morrow's Playground, The Think Place, Ultimate Home Theater, Beautiful Science, Video Games of Tomorrow. I don't know what all these things are. Interventions East and West consist of 2 big buildings on either side of Spaceship Earth. They're full of interactive exhibits that can be enjoyed by all ages. So I think this was a tough to be a bug-themed one. Big tunnel. There was a really fun game area where various Disney games are played with foot controls. Every one of us tried it, even Michelle. Notice the cool speaker dome above Courtney, which keeps the sound focused. That was cool. Interventions is so fun. Our favorite parts were the IBM exhibit where you can send a picture email of yourself and the Sega game you play with your feet. We also filmed a video postcard we emailed to ourselves. Unfortunately, we got home and checked our mail. It hadn't come through. Oh, sadness. But at least the pictures did. That was fun. And I must have cut something out of, oh, here, where it said Interventions, The Road to Tomorrow. I must have had an extra piece because I just used that as a little border, Interventions. And look, a strip and I guess a strip and a triangle right there. So, Caravan of Characters. Several times a day, a big group of Disney characters comes around on a double-decker bus. They don't do that at Epcot anymore. Stops to greet guests. We were hoping to see Snow White, but instead met friends from Robin Hood and the Lion King. Little did I know how hard it is to get some, like Robin Hood and Prince John. Robin Hood's my favorite Disney movie. Timon, Rafiki. We could have been first in line to see Mickey Mouse, but since we knew we'd see Mickey at breakfast the next day, we passed up the opportunity. So just again, strips, stickers. Y'all, scrapbooking was cool even back in the 2000s. Ice Station cool. Coke sponsors this exhibit where guests can sample soda flavors from around the world. Katie drank as much Mezzo Mix as she could hold. It was her favorite drink in Germany. And we all tried again to understand the appeal of Beverly from Italy. If you know, you know. With all the attractions at Disney World, who would have thought that we'd get stuck on the bridge to World Showcase looking at a large group of turtles swimming in the lagoon? So I did turtle power and I used the hexagon shape from the custom cutting system. Not one that gets a lot of love. And my pictures aren't great, but you know, hey, film. It was a film camera. Canada. Our first shop in the World Showcase, half of Epcot was in Canada. We stopped to peek at the dinner menu for the night's meal at Le Cellier before settling down to watch an awesome performance of the band Off Kilter. Who knew bagpipe players can rock and roll? I loved Off Kilter so much. Michelle managed to fall asleep during the concert, loud as it was. We didn't realize it at the time, but it also meant she slept through what would have been our best and only chance to meet Snow White. Poor little sleeping Michelle. sleeping through rock and roll bagpipes. World Showcase. One of us made a wisecrack as Princeton was playing with this drum that it might be a rain summoner, at which point he decided it might be safer if he didn't play with it. Oh my gosh, I forgot this. One of the fun memories from our previous Disney trip was Epcot's living statues. They don't do that anymore. On this visit, we made it a point to find them again, this time near Italy. Guests would go up to take pictures with the statue, who would change her position to adapt to their pose. None of our kids would go up, so Princeton and I went together. We stood in front of the statue, but she pushed us closer together, then made us kiss. The crowd loved it. After she let go, Princeton showed he's not afraid of public kissing by kissing me again. Then, as we walked back into the crowd, he said in a loud voice, "My wife is going to kill me," which caused a lot of laughter and a few strange looks. So that was really fun. They don't do those statues anymore. I'd forgotten about them. All right, more fun with friends. Our neighbors, Sean and Shanna Moriarty, went to Disney the same week we did. Their trip was much more spontaneous than ours, and they ended up following our itinerary most of the week, which didn't necessarily mean we saw each other much. We saw them a few times. We did run into each other at a show in China where we sat and visited for a bit, and the kids hunted for lizards in the landscaping. Rather than sit around visiting, which we could do back at Fort Bragg, we decided to walk over to Norway and ride the Maelstrom ride together. We barely knew the Moriartys before our Disney trip, but since then they've become good friends. So, again, borders, strips, and stickers. Our favorite meal last time was at Le Cellier in Canada, so we're all anxious to eat there again. But the old adage proved true, you can't go home again. We were sadly disappointed with the whole meal, and combined with the highest cost of any of our Disney meals, it won't be on our list next time. People love Le Cellier. They've changed the menu a few times since 2003, obviously. It's super fancy. It's super expensive. I've never been back. I've looked at the menu. I'm sure that it's fine. The first time we went there, it was awesome. The second time, it was a little bit too fancy for us. And now when I read the menus, it just feels too fancy for us for what the price you pay. Because you pay Disney prices, but then you do fancy Disney prices. We did enjoy the desserts, though, especially Courtney's chocolate mousse. So, you know, it was the shape of a mousse. And again, just stickers. Another favorite thing that's gone now, the Magic Street. We happened upon these fiber optic lights embedded in the sidewalks of Future World on our last visit to Epcot. This one doesn't have a page protector on it. This time we specifically sought out the lights, both during the day to see if we can find them in the light, and of course after dark. So that was really fun. And then this layout was really fun because all I did was just draw little dots and do some handwriting. And, you know, now I don't do handwritten titles, but I did them a couple of times here. They work great on this black, so maybe I need to repent and change my ways. I don't know why this doesn't have a page protector. Well, let's find out. Probably because there's nothing here. I probably put this book together in 2004. I have no idea. But then we did have the pocket pages. We had the black pocket pages. So I have the shows. I have the park map, the times guides. You don't really do those so much anymore, but I've got several pages right here in the back of volume 1. Food and wine. Oh, let's see if it has pricing on food and wine stuff. It doesn't. It doesn't even have the foods. Yeah, food and wine's a lot different now. So I just had these pocket pages. I just stuck these in the back. So no, this is the world update we get in our room every day. That was fun. They don't do as many printed things anymore because, we all have our phones. All right, volume 1, and now let's pull out volume 2. All right, if you remember the first page, I did the big oval. And this one I did the star. That was also a custom cutting system shape. This was a window sticker that I had purchased, and I color copied it on my copier at home. Our hotel room keys doubled as charge cards within the resort. So this one is signed, and I could charge things to it. I don't know why we have 2 that have his name on them. But our Disney World Vacation, November 2003, Volume 2. Animal Kingdom, Wednesday, November 12th. There we are in front of no PhotoPass. There was no PhotoPass back then. Can you tell? Can you tell there wasn't PhotoPass? Donald's Breakfastosaurus. We got into Animal Kingdom an hour before the park opened for a character breakfast. Donald, Goofy, Pluto, and the mouse himself, Mickey. The food was good, but none of us were in the mood for such a big breakfast, so didn't appreciate it as much as we might have later in the morning. Michelle made a pancake and bacon sandwich. Yum. I did not write on here what I need to go back and write, that when we went to Disney the first time in 1997, we were there like a month before Animal Kingdom opened. So this was our first time to ever go to Animal Kingdom. Again, Sizzix letters. The centerpiece of Animal Kingdom is the huge tree of life at the center of Discovery Island. The tree's trunk and branches are covered in animal carvings. We didn't have nearly enough time to fully explore the tree or its surrounding animal exhibits. Hey, look, you guys know this. You recognize this layout with the 4 squares. Some things never change. And a collage, Kilimanjaro Safaris. We saw lots of animals, including a baby elephant, hippos, giraffes, a lion, and a lioness. Our first attraction at the Animal Kingdom was the Kilimanjaro Safaris ride. The ride is themed as a real 2-week trip, which then gets interrupted by some poachers. Riding in the safari trucks was fun, especially going over the rickety bridges. So, sorry again, glare from the page protectors. Panjani Forest Exploration Trail. After the Kilimanjaro Safaris, we took time to explore the Panjani Trail. We liked the sloths, the fish, and the bird exhibit, and the gorillas, but by far the most interesting creatures were the, no kidding, naked mole rats. And this is with the Sizzix. I had, you know, my old foam Sizzix. I cut out all these little leaves and sticker letters. Legend of the Lion King. This show was fantastic. We loved it all, from the music to the dancers on stilts, and especially the monkey acrobats. Still one of our favorite shows. If you go to Animal Kingdom, they still do this show. It's still totally worth it. Disney's newest animated movie, Brother Bear, was released just before our trip. Outside the Lion King attraction, Lion King Auditorium was a character greeting area to meet 2 of the stars of the movie, Coda and Kenai. I never saw Brother Bear. I still know nothing about Brother Bear. We disregarded our guidebook's advice to be wary of the Bugs Life 3D show. Michelle and Nicole spent most of the creepy collar adventure with tightly shut eyes and closed ears. Eek. And this is that same kind of layout I had done with the Christmas lights before, just kind of the little confetti. And I love it. It works really well. And I'm hardly using any paper on this album. Maybe because I spent $60 per album, not counting refill pages. Or protectors. They didn't come with protectors back then. This was like a bug helmet, I guess Alex could try on. Very cool. Hats off to Disney. Did you know it's just as much fun to take free pictures with cute Disney hats as it is to pay for the hat and take it home? So we did that, lots of pictures, but we didn't take them home. We had a great time stuffing a box full of Mr. Potato Head parts, including mouse ears, an autograph book, a video camera, and a Mickey ice cream bar. I think we did, in fact, built the Mr. Potato Head, and then I built my own. I just cut him out of cardstock and made my own Mickey hat. Quite proud of this little guy. And look, Michelle's quite proud of him too. And again, film camera, my picture's a little bit blurry, but too bad. Uh-oh. Here's a Post-it note. I said, this purposefully tacky land in the Animal Kingdom is full of sideshow attractions and carnival-type rides. Michelle's favorite was Primeval Whirl, which she rode 4 times in a row. It was not. It was Triceratops Spin was her favorite ride. It was her favorite ride, and I think she managed to ride on Triceratops Spin, not the last day, but near the last, like the last week before it shut down for good in 2024. Chester and Hester's Dino-Rama. Can you find us in this dinosaur picture? We were right there. Is this one Gertie? No, Gertie's the one at the studios. The dinosaur is yellow, but when we were there this last time, they painted the dinosaur green. Dinosaur has a name. Cementosaurus is the name of this dinosaur. Princeton was the only one to ring the bell at the strength game. Again, you know, loved my film camera, but it's really nice to have a digital camera and be able to see, hey, that's too dark. And I probably could find the negatives and lighten this up, but oh well. You know what we look like. There's Courtney Michelle and this big giant dinosaur, and there's the snake he won. I think we maybe still have that snake that he won from the strength game. And then these were like some vellum stickers I got, which are kind of cool, but kind of weird because you can't really see them. Cali River Rapids. This one, I kind of did the journaling wavy, which is a little bit annoying. We love the Cali River Rapids ride. Since we knew we'd get drenched, we saved it for our last stop of the day. The park was starting to empty out, so there was no waiting in line. Michelle decided once was enough for her, so she and Princeton watched for an overpass while the rest of us rode 4 more times without ever getting off. We had to laugh at the woman in our boat with us trying to, without success, to stay dry by covering herself with 2 Disney rain ponchos. I usually cannot ride Cali River Rapids that many times because it spins and I get car sick. But look at this fun picture that Princeton was able to take. I had a water camera, so I got pictures of us. Very fun. I was drenched. It was super fun. We stayed in the park till it's 5 p.m. closing and still didn't get to see everything, but we took our time leaving and got to enjoy some of the scenery on the way. What the rest of us didn't know until the pictures came back from the developer is that while the rest of us rode Cali River, Princeton and Michelle snuck in an ice cream break. Tricky kids. One of my favorite memories is getting my pictures back and finding this picture of her eating ice cream that none of the rest of us knew about. Princeton and Michelle had ice cream. There we are on a little card. Just outside the gate, we came across several characters signing autographs. They don't do that now after closing time. And posing for pictures. Michelle watches Stanley all the time. So that's who we wanted to see, along with his goldfish, Dennis. Oh, do you guys remember Stanley and Dennis? Stanley's just a little kid, which must be why he signed his name Stanley. He spelled his name wrong. I said. So this one's fun. I did a little wallpapering. You can tell these are two separate things. Pool. Courtney had been begging to swim in the hotel pool, and finally Wednesday night we could fit it into our schedule. Too bad the night wasn't very warm. November, even in Florida that year, wasn't very warm, but there's a hot tub, so, you know, that's my favorite place. I might not have even gotten in the pool because there are no pictures of me. I was probably sitting on the shore saying, I got to take pictures. I can't get in the water. But I did get some really fun pictures. I mean, this is making me happy. I'm going to put these out on the table and encourage my family to look through these again. All right, Magic Kingdom. Our original plan was to spend Thursday at the Disney MGM Studios, but there was so much more we wanted to see at the Magic Kingdom, we decided to take advantage of the early entry day and spend an hour or two there before heading to MGM. We ended up spending a lot more time there than we expected and didn't get to MGM until 3 o'clock, but we still had lots of fun. So here we are back at the, I don't know where Kim and Courtney are. Alex looking a little sullen right there. Maybe we're looking into the sun. Michelle's making funny faces in all these pictures because of the sun. The little Cinderella fountain. Got to use this fun Mickey paper. Monday, we'd zip past all the characters in our rush to get to the rides, but this time, Michelle, Nicole, and Kim let the rest of the gang go on to Space Mountain while they stopped to meet and greet. So we got Baloo and King Louie and Geppetto. We saw so many more characters than we were able to meet. The mice and fairy godmother from Cinderella, Daisy Duck, Pinocchio, and the Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland. Stitch. Oh, and the picture with Roy Disney. And look how cute Katie was. She's still really cute. But even at like, 13, 14, she was still pretty cute. Swiss Family Treehouse. We enjoyed visiting the Swiss Family Treehouse. It would have been better if we'd thought to watch the movie before our trip. There's a lot of steps. But that's a fun one. All of us kind of up there in the treehouse. In the Tiki room. Really, it's just the Tiki room, but once you get the song going in your head, it's hard to get it out. Michelle's dance class does a dance to the theme song from the Enchanted Tiki Room, so she really wanted to go see the show. The show itself was pretty lame, except during the loud, scary part, but at least we can say we finally saw it. This was the Enchanted Tiki Room under new management, where like Iago from Aladdin comes in and like crashes the show. I really like the Enchanted Tiki Room now. I like the historical nature of it, but I hated this one. He was mean. Iago. Was that Gilbert Gottfried, comedian, was the voice of it. Not my favorite. But now that it's gone back to its old management, I like it a lot more. The Magic Carpets of Aladdin. The Magic Carpets of Aladdin is one of the newest attractions in all of Magic Kingdom. It's just like Dumbo, except brighter suited magic carpets. Courtney did not want to fly the carpet down for the picture, but finally she did. Around the ride, plastic jewels are embedded in the ground, which is neat. Michelle was afraid of the genie, so Courtney and Nicole went up to meet him. So this was 2003. How old was I? 35, maybe. The good old days. So I drew the lamp myself and did all the pen artwork. I'm just kind of astounded as I flip through this, how much I'm liking it, even though kind of creatively it's so different from the way I scrapbook now. But I really I had to just make stuff myself. I didn't have a Cricut. I didn't have the internet. I couldn't print stuff out. We didn't have all sorts of themed papers and whatever. I used what I had and made it work. Jungle Cruise. We stayed at the Magic Kingdom longer than we meant to, but couldn't leave without going on the Jungle Cruise. The animals aren't real, but the boat drivers are always funny. So a lot of this is just the same now as it was in 2003, as it was in 1971. Last minute shopping. Did we only have 4-day passes? I hope we had 5-day passes. More hats. Oh, here's Michelle with a hat and the little tiny symbols, like for those little monkeys. And Courtney and Katie. I'm going to have to find Courtney on Facebook and send her the link to this video. Hope you don't mind, Courtney, that I put your old self here on YouTube. MGM Studios, we didn't get there till afternoon. That was probably a bad choice. Tower of Terror. Oh, this is when they had the big sorcerer hat in front of the Chinese theater. Again, the purists hated it. I loved it. And here's Alex with the bust of Walt Disney. Oh, and it had the Earful Tower back then. There we are with a caramel apple. We made the most of our few hours at MGM. First off, we dashed right over to ride the new rock and roller coaster. Poor Courtney doesn't like to go upside down, but didn't realize until it was too late that this ride goes upside down. She survived, but decided not to risk the Tower of Terror. Instead, Princeton, Kim, Alex, and Katie went to the Tower of Terror twice, and Nicole, Courtney, and Michelle stopped for a snack and did some shopping. Look how cute she is. We had 5:30 dinner reservations, but had time to go clear across the park looking for Woody and Jessie from Toy Story. The line to see them was way too long, though, so instead we went to watch Muppet Vision 3D. Then we went back to Hollywood and Vine for a fabulous dinner buffet. We bought a fancy drink with light-up ice cubes, and our server created a cute origami heart for Michelle, specifically focusing on Snow White. Our dinner at Hollywood and Vine was part of a Fantasmic dinner package, which gave us guaranteed seating for the show. We splurged on light-up toys for the kids before settling down to watch Mickey battle villains from various Disney movies. The special effects were great, especially the laser images on water, except that the spray off the water drifted right onto us, which was cold and uncomfortable, and seeing the water catch fire. And finally, as part of the show, we got to see Snow White. There she is. There's little Michelle with her Snow White pillow. We must have bought that there. Her little light-up wand. Yeah, I'm a sucker for all those things. Ugh. I don't know what's supposed to be here. I have no idea what's supposed to be here. Y'all, this trip was in 2003. Oh, obviously we went back to Epcot. I have no idea what is supposed to be here. I guess I'm supposed to have an Epcot entry page. That's very interesting. Maybe it's not a good idea to skip pages in your album. All right, The Land. Again, a Sizzix title, and I don't know where this paper came from, but it's perfect. Our first stop was The Land, where we had ice cream for breakfast, since that was the only shop open, before riding on the Living with the Land boat ride. It's a trip through real growing areas where Disney farms using high-tech methods like hydroponics and aeroponics. Journey into Imagination. The girls met up with us about 11. We went first to Journey into Imagination Pavilion. There were some technical glitches, which meant we had to wait longer than usual for the ride featuring the Dragon Figment. The ride exits into a fun interactive computer area where we're able to take digital pictures of ourselves and manipulate them on the computer into all sorts of wacky designs. They don't do that anymore. We popped into Innoventions East long enough for Alex and Katie to try out a Disney video game, but we were feeling lots of pressure since it was the last day we had in the park, so we didn't have nearly enough time. We'd caught the tail end of the Christo show on Tuesday, so Friday we made a point of watching it. It's a short show, only about 10 minutes, but very cool to see the amazing acrobatic tricks the team performs. Again, this is something that they don't do anymore. You know, Disney is constantly kind of changing up their live entertainment, and it's got to be awful in the summer to be wearing these little bodysuits and do that exercise. And I did a braided border using the 12-inch trimmer. I wonder if I remember how to do that. That would be a cool thing to do. Wonderful Worlds of Epcot. We liked this picture enough to send it with all of our Christmas cards in 2003. So if you knew me in 2003, this is a Christmas card you got from us. Kim looks lovely, demonstrating a spinning Mickey flashlight. And this was a Florida exhibit where the kids could dig for seashells and other buried treasure. We didn't end up sampling many of the international foods that are available. Next time we'll have an Epcot day without a meal reservation. So that's Food and Wine. Actually, they've had to cut back the festivals at Epcot, I heard, because people weren't going to restaurants because they were just doing all the food booths. Mexico. This time in World Showcase, we started in Mexico, so Princeton could enjoy his highly anticipated churros, and Nicole got to try a watermelon juice drink she'd read about online. So there was online then, but I wasn't on Facebook yet. Then we went to the Aztec pyramid-shaped pavilion to ride the very boring El Rio del Tiempo and browse in the marketplace. I actually really like this border. I made this myself. I have Mrs. Grossman stickers, maracas and guitars. Here's the churros. He looks like he's about 12, doesn't he? He looks almost younger than Alex in that picture. Churros, all the hats, marionettes. That's a cute picture. Those are fun. Japan. Alex was eager to get to Japan to buy Yu-Gi-Oh cards, but somehow we managed to wait until our second visit to get there. Unfortunately, he'd gone to the hotel arcade the night before, so didn't have quite as much money as he could have, and some of that was in quarters. But I guess we got some Yu-Gi-Oh! Here's Michelle pushing Courtney in the stroller. This was one of the shortcuts, I think, because it looks like it's got little ovals cut out of it, and then I put the flowers in there. Time seemed to race by that whole last day in Epcot. Courtney was on the hunt for a funnel cake, which she found near the American Adventure. Mostly we just wandered around the shops trying to absorb as much Disney-fied culture as we could. I actually really like this border too, where I just punched the squares out and then, made it into a border. I might have to remember that for a future layout. Not quite Snow White. We went back to the place Snow White had been on Tuesday, hoping to finally meet her. Instead, we found Dopey. We never did get to see Snow White. Michelle was actually sound asleep in the stroller when we found Dopey, so she didn't see him either. The cast member escorting Dopey said we might be able to find Snow White at the Magic Kingdom, but we didn't get to find out. So thankfully, we've met Snow White since then. Tucked away in a back corner of Morocco, we met Aladdin and Jasmine. Since they're face characters, they can talk and interact with guests. Michelle gave Aladdin one of her famous hugs, and Jasmine told Courtney what pretty hair she had. Aladdin won Nicole's heart when he saw the autograph book and smiled and said, "Oh ho, a scrapbooker." No wonder I've always liked Aladdin. And then this was a paper that I bought from some scrapbook store. We decided to be adventurous for our last meal at Epcot, so made reservations at Marrakesh and Morocco. The food was yummy, lots of couscous and kebabs, but best of all was the live entertainment. Michelle was captivated by the belly dancer and left the table to get a closer look. The dancer came up to Michelle and invited her to join her on the dance floor. It took a bit of time, but Michelle finally got past her stage fright and tried a few dance moves. Hooray for Disney, the crowd loved it. So Restaurant Marrakesh has never reopened since COVID. They might have even closed before COVID, but we've never been back. But we had a good time that night, and I had, again, completely forgotten. So thankful for my scrapbooks, which are reminding me of what a fun trip this was. Favorite family story. On our way out of Epcot, we stopped at the United Kingdom Pavilion to listen to a Beatles cover band called The British Invasion. During the show, the kids went inside one of the shops where Michelle fell in love with the stuffed Eeyore. We tried not to give in to her, but she turned up her cuteness. After she said, "But I love him," we were sunk. Princeton said we didn't have enough money, and Michelle reached in her pocket and pulled out a pressed penny. All of us looked at each other, and Princeton said, "Anyone who thinks we should buy her the Eeyore, raise your hand." And everyone else raised our hands. Katie commented that she would remember that technique when she asked us to buy her a car. Oh my gosh, it was the happiest story. She still has this Eeyore. I think it's probably with her in her first grown-up apartment now where she is. Y'all, you would have raised your hand too. Tell me it's not true. Let us say not farewell, but as the French have it, au revoir. That's a quote from the BBC Pride and Prejudice with Colin Firth. Going home is always the worst part of a Disney day, and the worst of all is after using the last day of your park hopper. Our time with Kim was at an end, too, since her plane left early the next morning. So this is us being sad. Chef Mickey's is a restaurant right there in the Contemporary Hotel. They serve a highly recommended character breakfast. We decided that would be a fun last hurrah for our week at Disney. Every half hour or so, the character would lead the guests in a song celebrating people's birthdays or other events. Everyone waves their napkin and sings along as best they can. Hokey but fun, like only Disney can do it. So poor Kim didn't get to do this with us. Look at Michelle, so cute. And this I must have bought the picture again and cut this out of the guide. I should use that technique I used in last week's Theme Park Thursday and go color in the lines around the outside because it's a little bit white around the edges. Dale, that's nice that they put a sign on him so you know who is who. Mickey, oh, how we love Mickey. Nicole had bought a Hidden Mickey's guidebook with intentions of finding as many as possible, but then she forgot the book at home, so we had to search on our own. So I found lots of Hidden Mickeys throughout the parks. And again, no page protector on this one. I have no idea what this says. It says Snow White's. I have no idea why it says Snow White's. Don't skip pages in your book and then wait 20 years to finish them because you'll never know. And I have no idea what those pictures are. One of the things I love that I did about this was I put how much it cost. The final tab for our trip came to about $4,500. $4,500 in 2003. Just a bit over our budget since we took 2 extra people. We were able to pay for everything with the money we'd saved for the trip. Hooray, it was worth every penny and then some. So I did this one money well spent. I had the little Sizzix dollars, stickers. And then I had written a multi-part report to anyone who would read it. And I printed it out. So this is all the story that tells our whole adventures at Disney. So I'm not going to read that to you. It's most of the things that I've already told you in this scrapbook. But I printed it all out, page after page after page. Perhaps I should be a novelist. Imagine how long this video would be if I read all of that to you. I wonder if I could find it. I could find it. I could post it somewhere and you guys could read it yourselves. And then the end. See you real soon. So that's our 2-volume trip. Our family's not our first trip to Disney, our second trip to Disney, but so much fun. Thanks for letting me go through this with you. Thank you to the people who encouraged me to do another album flip through so that I remember to do this album. I had a great time flipping through this with you, and I hope you enjoyed looking through it. And I hope that even in 2025, or whenever you're watching this, some of the things and the techniques I did in this layout, you can see, are timeless. You know, the sprinkle border, some of those things. Black pages with just journaling in your pictures, timeless. You can do this too, and you'll be happy that you've put your memories in a scrapbook so that you can remember them forever. Thanks so much for watching. I'll be back real soon with another layout technique or maybe even another album flip through. Happy scrapbooking.